There is not much we can still learn about Donald Trump, but we should have learned that he loves a show, fanfare, and a photo op. He loves to distract us, provoking outrage or just news coverage over his every move. 4 years and we haven't learned that when the president says, "Look there," what he actually means is, "Don't look here." Ever since Trump got into office, we've allowed ourselves to get distracted by the collapse of regular order, bogged down in the minutia, losing sight of the bigger picture. 12 hours ago, Trump named Mark Meadows his chief of staff, giving Mick Mulvaney the boot. High-level White House staffing changes are generally notable, but does this one mean anything? Probably very little. The chief of staff used to be a powerful job, perhaps the most powerful job in America after that of the president, but Trump has undermined the position through his penchant for weak power structures that revolve around him. The West Wing has largely been purged of anyone who disagrees with the president. The replacement of the third chief of staff is juicy as far as palace intrigue goes. It fulfills our need for drama, but it is not important. Who the chief of staff doesn't matter anymore. The position no longer wields power. Sure, Mark Meadows is uniquely qualified, or unqualified, if you will. He's a bombastic congressman who made his name as the chair of the Freedom Caucus, who once said that he'd like to send Barack Obama back home to Kenya. This should probably bother you some. It demeans the work of those who've come before him and will come after him. But ultimately, it's a distraction, taking away from the real story. Trump is changing our judicial system, decimating the State Department, making foreign policy deals just to see them fail in short order, stymieing efforts to combat climate change, and putting in place medieval immigration policies. Those things should hold our attention and have us outraged. So when he says, "Look there," don't. Keep focused on the things that matter. Naming Meadows as chief of staff is a minor league attempt at distraction by replacing a person who had no power or responsibility or credibility. If Trump was serious about a chief of staff, Meadows probably wouldn't make the long list, let alone the short list.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.